Thank you all for joining us today. For today's presentation, we have Kaniah Gunter. Kaniah is a health and wellness coach. She is also the owner of Unique Guidance Nutritional Health Coaching. Kaniah is a strong spokesperson for the Myositis Association, serving as a support group leader, Maven's ambassador, TMA's Myositis Women of Color leader. As a nutrition health coach, Kaniah is a mentor and accountability coach. She loves guiding others to be the best version of themselves. Please welcome Kaniah as she helps us to make better choices.
Hello. Welcome to the 2021 Virtual Summit. My name is Kaniah Gunter. And just a little bit about me, I am a nutritional health coach and support group leader for the Virginia and West Virginia, Elizabeth City area, the Tidewater area. Also TMA's Women of Color leader. Today I wanted to jump on because I wanted to share with you guys as far as 2 different lifestyle tips and just sharing my story and my journey as far as to certain things that's been very useful to me and the tools that I have used to help me in my journey. It all started in 2007. I was diagnosed with dermatomyositis and overlapping of scleroderma and calcinosis. This has been one roller coaster ride, just experiencing. And I woke up one morning and it was like a mystery, a nightmare, I call it, to having the rashes, to not being able to walk. I suffered from dysphagia, which I wasn't able to swallow. Just the swelling of my hands and of my face. It was a difficult time for me. And being a single mom with 2 kids, I just felt like life, it was over for me. And with family and friends, they couldn't understand it. And it wasn't enough information out there with local doctors to try to get me the resources and the help that I needed. So I had to wait 4 years to actually get the help and be able to see a specialist because the local doctors were just lost for words. So just the tripping and the falling and not able to open up peanut butter and jelly jars for my kids was a tough time. Heavy breathing, I suffer from that with plenty of testings, PFT testings that I had to follow up closely with the doctors. From the rashes, like I said, I thought I was having an allergic reaction. It was a tough moment for me. I actually watched my family and my friends struggle along with me with me not eating and losing lots of weight. I suffered from jaundice, which I had yellowing of the skin and yellow of the eyes. My CPK was at 8,000, like I had ran a marathon. And everybody was still lost for words. In that moment, I was just, trying to figure out what was my purpose, what was my why while suffering with this disease. And I had to try to rescue myself. So from the difficulty swallowing, from the having to watch my mother in the kitchen cooking me bone broth and drinking out of a straw, which I was drinking boost to try to help with me maintaining my weight and just giving me energy and just giving me a little bit of life. I was lost for words and didn't know which way to go. And just sitting and watching my kids look at me struggle. And at my lowest point in my life, I had to do something. So in me having to do something and being diagnosed with the dermatomyositis and scleroderma and calcinosis disease, which I kind of like had several surgeries and skin grafting and having to learn how to walk and having to learn how to just get my voice back and be a proactive advocate. Today's treatments, I received infusion treatments, which is my IVIG, my Rituxan. I was put on pomegranate. And so it's been a long journey. And I wanted to just share with you guys lifestyle tips and ways to actually just take charge and take action today of your health. And so with me being a nutritional health coach, I learned how to invest in my health, and I want to be able to share that with you. So the next slide, please. Life is a matter of choices, and every choice you make makes you. And this is by John C. Maxwell. Next slide, please. Mindfulness. So when it was a tough time in my life, by me just sitting there in pain and struggling and not just knowing what this disease could do to me, I had to change and shift my mindset. I had to get into a place of just looking for positivity, inspiration. I mean, even when it came down to reading certain things, I had to change my self talk and not let myositis take over my life. So, mindfulness has taught me to live in the now. The present moment is all that we have, and we can take charge as of right now today. Next slide, please. The starting point is just like going inside the biggest mall that you might have known, which is the Mall of America. You have a map that's sitting there waiting in the center of the floor, but you have no in which way that you want to go. So you have to start from somewhere in order to get to where you need to be at in becoming healthy. So knowing your disease, and knowing your disease, you recognize what is happening to your body. It could be from your fatigue, from your digestive health. It started with that digestive health with me because I wasn't able to swallow. That was one of my first signs that really alert me that something was wrong in my body. Rashes. I thought I was suffering from allergic reaction. Your gut health is very important. We say that it's the second brain. Please pay attention, you guys. You have to start somewhere. Shortness of breath. Checking in with yourself. Even if you have to sit still for a moment just to evaluate yourself. So self-evaluation is very important. And then lastly, your testing results is very important. Know your numbers. Communicate with your doctors. Next slide, please. Emotional wellness. We all we all get there with the emotional wellness. And emotional wellness, we have to honor our emotions. Sometimes we have to sit there in that moment, even when we're in pain. We have to sit there in that moment. I know sometimes it takes a lot to get over grieving, but grieving is what helps us and fuels us to move forward in life. Because once we're over that, it helps us and it helps our family also to know that there is life after diagnosis. Next slide, please. So your language of emotions, expressing your emotions does not come easy to everyone. Emotional intelligence and the language emotions refer to the skillful and just being aware in what we experience and how can we express ourselves on a regular basis. And how often have you heard phrases like, I'm just stressed out, I'm just really tired, used to cover up sensations of fear. And fear sometimes it keeps us stagnant. So be sure to express yourself. It's one thing to use these words as an excuse, not to talk about the roots of the issue. Sometimes it's another thing, but just believing in the facts of knowing that you can use different languages to express yourself. So becoming emotional literate, it helps you take control and take back your life when you're able to express yourself with others. Next slide, please. Treat yourself with self-care. This is one of my favorite ones. So just sitting in the moments and not able to be able to just think that you're not able to do something for yourself. Do something nice. Think about things that make you happy. Just self-care itself is loving and allowing yourself permission to enjoy every moment of your life. So take the time to just benefit yourself. Take time out for yourself. It's a full commitment. It's a job. We have our health to worry about. And I do truly believe that once we put ourselves first, it does nourish every part of our body and helps fuel us on a deeper, deeper level. Next slide, please. And some of the things that you can use earlier before, I said mindfulness. So we're using mindfulness and just being in the present moment with your breaths in every moment of life. You can start using your yoga and your meditation. It's very helpful. Journaling is also good. Writing your thoughts down, write the vision down to become and live a healthy life and have a healthy lifestyle. Next slide, please. And some of the things that yoga can help you with is your mind, your body, and your soul. Optimal health is about nourishing your mind and your soul, your body and your soul. So that body-mind connection also helps with balancing and cultivates that connection. So yoga is great with physical ways to strengthen these connections. The practice of yoga teaches mindfulness also through using and helps you to be more in tune with your body. So other ways to achieve a healthy mind, body, and soul connection by really doing things, let's say we can start just scheduling a time and day as far as to, like I said, just that self-care, that self-love, yoga, just doing the things that bring you joy back in your life. Taking a part in nature is one of the good things that I love doing. I love walking and going to the beach. It helps aligns you on a bigger level. Next slide, please. Building resiliency. So you have the power to change. And in building resiliency, it starts with a lot of things. Only you know exactly what you need to do to get to the next level, to get to the next step as far as to living a better life. Next slide, please. And your health goals. So your health goals, it can go from your patient to doctor relationship with visiting your doctor. You can start by your lifestyle, your lifestyle tips as far as to just cutting out and stress management. And also you can start meal prepping. Health goals, just setting health goals as far as just preparing to just live a better life. Next slide, please. And toxic overloads. Toxic overloads, you can just start thinking about as far as to how to start detoxing things from out of your life, as far as to different allergies, chemicals in your life, detoxing even with medications. Sometimes your overload of medications can cause other issues as far as within your body. So pay close attention to that. Next slide, please. All disease starts in the gut. So, AKA the gateway to your health. So, like I said earlier before about your gut health, those are signs early on. Pay attention, please. Next slide. So with properly diagnosed nutrition deficiency or most health complications in general, it is important to rule out any issues associated with gut function. Unlikely that your body will be able to absorb the proper nutrients. Therefore, eating the right foods or taking supplements, some of the major functions of the gut include your digestion, your immune response, your nutrient absorption, your hormone regulation, your vitamin production, detoxification, and mood management. Next slide, please. What's right or wrong? I say start today. Many different lifestyle factors impact chronic inflammation, including long-term exposures to irritants, like your chemicals or your polluted air, stress, and lack of exercise. From years of research, we also know that what you eat can harm or help your body. The choices you make mealtimes can impact the amount of inflammation in your body. This means you can prevent chronic inflammation with your food choices. So let's talk anti-inflammatory foods. Next slide, please. Vitamin D also plays a big part as far as living with autoimmune and with myositis. So I say wear your sunscreen and make sure you protect your skin and protect yourself while you're going out. We do need vitamin D, and there's a lot of foods out there that actually have vitamin D in it. So just make sure that you reach out and to your doctors, or you want to learn more about what you can do to get more vitamin D. Next slide, please. The one way to fight back against cravings and hunger is to fill up with good stuff like your veggies. I say go green. In fact, veggies, this should be half of the plate. So are you getting enough veggies today? I say double up on your veggies. Next slide, please. So your whole foods. I say when you're shopping, I always kind of like when you first enter into the stores, you're going to see your fruits and your vegetable section first. Stay out of the middle sections. Your whole foods is pretty much driving you to wanting to eat anti-inflammatory foods. Next slide, please. And stop waiting for the right time. I say the time is now. Many of us allow fear to dictate important decisions. We long for the clarity to know exactly what the outcome of everything will be. Resistant to just take action. I say the right time, like I say, is the present time. Live in the now. Unfortunately, this very often leads to the indulgence of fears of lacks of actions in any area of your life. So just looking at it from your mental state, from your physical state, from your emotional state, from your spiritual state, I say that you have to start looking at all areas of your life. The reality is that the right time may never actually occur, and waiting for it might end up in a postponing of your lives. So I say stop suffering and just try to take action now. In short, waiting for the right time means that fear wins. We don't want fear to win. We have to have faith over fear. Do you want this to happen now? Is some of the questions that we may ask ourselves. Of course, we want it to happen now because we're living with the mystery disease and it has no cure. If you're serious about combating fear and releasing yourself from anxiety, it's time to take action. Just acting against your limited beliefs. Early on, I say that what are you actually saying to yourself in order for you to want to heal and to take action and to change on a lifestyle with making lifestyle changes? Next slide, please. Your do's and your don'ts. I say with your do's, you want to stick to your greens, your veggies and your fruits. You want to sleep better. You want to get some type of exercise in, which movements give you life. And your don'ts, I say to let go of the junk food, let go of the sugars, start cutting back on some of that good stuff, because what it does is it just triggers your immune system and it triggers inflammation. And inflammation is the name while we're living with myositis. Next slide, please. What's on your grocery list? So I say write it down. Before you even go on the grocery store, start just sharing or just writing things down that really been helping you with your energy and foods that helps you as far as to like your food sensitivities and stuff like that. You should already be aware of that good stuff, so you already know what's going to be on your grocery list. Next slide, please. So here are the basics of following an anti-inflammatory diet. Start by eating more plants. Whole plant foods have the anti-inflammatory nutrients that your body needs. Variety is key, so opt for rainbow fruits and veggies. You always want to be more colorful with your greens and your legumes. The more colorful your foods, the more antioxidants you'll be getting. So antioxidants help prevent, delay, and prepare some types of cell and tissue damage. So this is very important to incorporate into your diet and your lifestyle. I say blueberries is one of my favorites. Avocados, greens, and beets is pretty good, as well as your beans and your lentils, your whole greens. Ginger, turmeric, and green tea is always good to have part of your everyday selection when it comes down to choosing your antioxidants. Omega-3 fatty acids play a significant role in regulating your body's inflammatory process. We can do as far as options and selections of your salmon, your tuna. That also helps with your intake of your fats. So when following in anti-inflammatory eating, there are also many foods to consider. So we have to start learning and just being aware and start avoiding the ones that we don't need altogether. So like your red meats can be pro-inflammatory, for example, especially processed meat as sausages and your hot dogs. So let them go. Limit your intake by substituting your fish, your nuts, and just your base proteins. Just cutting out the processed foods and your sugars, your sweeteners, your cereals, your drinks. I was having a real issue with being on high dose of prednisone, which was 60 milligrams. It caused a lot of just a lot of fluid, swelling that I had going on. And at this time, I did not know as far as to cutting out some of these foods. And so today has been very helpful with cutting back on the processed foods, the sugars, the crackers. And so I think that with a little bit of meal prepping, it will help you and steer you in a direction to becoming healthy. Next slide, please. Meal prepping, as the slogan goes, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. So I say, look at your refrigerator, start looking at your pantry, and start preparing. Sleep is very essential also when it comes down to sleeping. It helps you rejuvenate, restore. It helps renew you. I say with sleep, when you're being sleep deprived, you have a lot of things going on. And living with myositis, brain fog could be one of the issues as far as with memory issues, trouble focusing, concentrating. Mood changes is also a thing, and mood changes also go along with what you're eating also. Um, Lack of sleep causes weakening of your immune of living with myositis. And high blood pressure, you got a little bit of, sometimes you can gain weight if you're not eating right and you're not sleeping. And medication could also cause weight gain. It could also increase other issues as far as with diabetes and with heart disease. So you want to be very mindful when it comes down to just getting your proper rest. Some psychological risks of inadequate sleep includes impulsive behavior, anxiety, depression, paranoia, your suicidal thoughts. So I say get some rest. Next slide, please. Inflammation diet. Inflammation diet. So just like I've been saying, we live with inflammation sitting and waiting and to trigger myositis. And our flares comes from us not eating good. So I say start with inflammation diet. Next slide, please. So diet plays a significant role in your health. So by using and doing the inflammation diet, people need individualized nutrition guidance. I do feel like what food works for one person does not necessarily work for the next. One of the best ways to reduce inflammation lies in the refrigerator. So if you don't put it in your refrigerator, as far as to the things that you don't need, don't put it there. Just look for the things that are going to actually help fuel the body and help you live a healthier and happier life. And with the anti-inflammatory diet, you should include foods as your tomatoes, your olive oils. Like I said, pay close attention to your food sensitivities. Your green leafy vegetables, such as your spinach, your kales, your collards, your nuts, almonds, and your walnuts. Fruits such as strawberries, blueberries, and cherries, like I said before, very good for you. These foods are high in natural antioxidants and polyphenols, and which are protective compounds found in plants to reduce, you already know the name, inflammation. Next slide, please. So I always use this along in my health journey. It is a healthy lifestyle. I say go green. I say get your energy back. I say live a life of purpose. I say that start with just your green veggies, your fruits, juicing. I do a lot of juicing. It does take some time. It takes some good energy, but it also gives you that good energy back. So green smoothies is the number one thing. I just finished a green smoothie, JJ Smith 10-day green smoothie cleanse. I've been reading her book. It's been very helpful. Look for lifestyle tools that help you with just becoming healthy. Your salads is really good. I say use more greens, your chia seeds, your flax seeds you can use in your salads to switch it up, along with adding a little bit of fruit. Cutting back on your sugars, your crackers, your cookies, your sodas. I can't express how much this is going to mean to you in your life as far as to living with myositis. And your breads. You cut that good stuff out and take action. You will be living a healthy life. Next slide, please. Rethinking your favorite foods. I think you can already see what it means for you. So you need to cut out the junk foods pretty much. It does cause some your inflammation. It does trigger the disease. French fries, fried foods, your cheeseburgers, your um, I can't even just go deeper. I can go deeper into it, but like we said, just cutting back on your cookies and your crackers is also a number one thing. So favorite foods, I say that even if you're just taking baby steps and small steps or whatever, just do it one day at a time. Just meet yourself where you're at, but you do need to rethink as far as to your favorite foods. You can always reintroduce them into your diet. Just set the goal, put it on a calendar, and start rethinking as far as to how you can get rid of inflammation. Next slide, please. Physical fitness, movement gives us life, movement gives us energy. It's time to think differently about physical activities. I say check in with your doctor, your physical therapy therapist, occupational therapist, as far as to different stretches, and just as far as to not want to overexert yourself. I think that's very important to check there first. Whether you relate exercise to a bad experience in your grade school year, physical education, or you've been just made to feel bad about being overweight as an adult and just living with myositis. I said earlier before, we do have medications that sometimes have us crave. The famous medication for me was prednisone. It's possible to just want to just look forward to just being active. And for starters, just consider that exercise can be anything you do, as far as to even if you're just sitting there, just stretch your arms up, move your legs a little bit, range of emotions is always good. From doing chores around the house, walking around the block, any type of movement is very helpful. Therefore, you don't have to go to a gym to actually, move or want to exercise. Any type of physical activity is good for you as long as you're moving. I'm not saying that CrossFit or running on a treadmill full speed is as good, but as long as you're moving. You already know the importance of exercising for your health. The key is finding something that you enjoy doing. And it could be gardening, dancing, walking, swimming, riding your bicycle. I mean, you can just keep at it as far as to what you're doing, and as long as you're moving. Next slide, please. Light exercise for me and keep moving and stretching it out. I try to stretch it out and walk it out at least twice out of the week. You see me here moving along. It feels good. It gives me energy. It gives me life. Next slide, please. Letting go of your fear and doing the things that you love. And letting go of fear is what's going to help you with making these lifestyle choices, making these lifestyle habits. It starts with you. And I say, let go of the fear. Just do the things that you love. Take action now. I was not able to move along with everybody else in the family when they were going out and about. I felt isolated. I felt that people did not understand as far as to with me living with myositis and having to get plenty of surgeries. It was a big setback for me. And so when I got up and moving, I told myself that I was not going to let fear get in the way of me taking action and living a life of purpose and enjoying life. So zip lining is one of my favorite pictures here and the favorite things that I love doing. And I know that sometimes we do sit there in fear, but let it go. Let it go and enjoy your life. Make better choices today. Next slide, please. getting to the root cause. Many modern holistic medicines approaches with the functional medicines will advocate the importance of assessing the root cause. I say just getting starting from the top to the bottom, will help as far as to pointing us in the right direction with treating the symptoms of any illness and disease. Looking at it from a mental, a physical, looking at the drugs. I actually checked in with a holistic doctor in 2018. I was diagnosed in 2007, but it took years as far as to wanting to get to the root cause of the issue. So by treating symptoms, you do reduce some of your symptoms. In discovering the root causes, you can easily get to the bottom of these root causes and remove them for good. Just looking at the bigger picture, I think helps keeps us aware as far as the things that we need to work on, excuse me. And you're able to see a big difference. The same goes for fear. Again, just driving out that good fear is very helpful. You can't possibly hope to remove your fears for good without doing a little bit of that inner work. So I say checking in with a holistic doctor, functional medicine doctor is very helpful just to get some knowledge as far as to steps that you can do, that you can take. Functional medicine has many benefits to many people, just not for healing, but anxiety and to drive out that fear. Next slide, please. And of course, the myth that I'm going to leave you guys with today, the only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, do what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. So I say take action today, live a life of purpose, make better choices. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.
Thank you so much, Kaniah, for sharing your story and helping us to make better choices. If you have any questions for Kaniah, please feel free to enter them into the chat box.
Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for jumping on.
Okay, I do have a question for you, Kaniah.
Okay.
If I want to be a health coach like you, where should I go?
Well, I started with IIN, and that's the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. Like I said, I wanted to invest in myself, and I think that, Google really starts it off when you're trying to do the research with living with myositis. So IIN is a really good school. There's a lot of schools out there. Transformation was my main thing. I started looking in the mirror and I started seeing it. So I think that's a great start. Start with IIN. It has been very helpful to me.
We also want to know what's the link to your Facebook page.
Okay. Would you like for me to put it in, or how do?
Yes, if you want to send that over to me, Kaniah, I can enter it into the chat box for everyone.
Okay.
And you do have a lot of comments that are thanking you for sharing your journey and for all the great information as well.
Thank you, guys. We still got a couple more seconds. So.
Okay. And I do have a few questions that are coming in. Okay.
Well,
Kaniah, you muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. I said that I could try to share my link and I can still answer the questions. That's fine.
Okay, perfect. Next question is, I have polymyositis. Do you suggest, what suggestions do you have that apply to my illness?
I said start with that inflammation diet with your at the beginning, I said that starting as a starting point. So starting point with just being aware exactly what's going on with your body and just checking in with what foods are working for you. I think the main thing as far as with lifestyle and trying to get to making those changes is, looking at certain things that you're able to do, like around the house, your certain foods, your your sleeping patterns. I say start there, just being aware of what's going on with you, because you're the only one that really knows. It starts with you. So then you'll be able to report and build that relationship with your doctor.
The next question is, what do you think of a plant-based diet?
Plant-based is pretty good. I have experienced plant-based, even with starting out, just start experiencing certain foods that are actually going to, that you like, different plant-based foods definitely have different flavors as far as to your tasting and your liking. But I have tried it and it has worked. I say that, one diet as far as to, it's so many diets out there. One diet might work for 30 days and it might not work, for the next 30 days. So I say, try it. It's a rule out there that it goes 21 days with making your good, healthy habits. I say, start with that. If it works for you, it works for you. If it gives you good energy, then let it give you good energy and give you life back. So I say you can start with plant-based diets. AIP diet is very good also. The autoimmune protocol diet is really helpful. It helps you with cutting back on some of the good things that are actually triggering. So I say just start journaling, writing down, do a food diary. That'll be good and helpful too.
I have another question for you. Any advice on how to make the switch? I am finding it hard to avoid foods even when I feel an immediate effect of eating certain unhealthy foods.
Well, the switch it takes a lot of good willpower to make that good switch, I say. With being on long-term prednisone and 60 milligrams, that was a lot of steroids. So I think one morning I just woke up. Actually, I was seeing a specialist and things were starting to actually work for me. And I just told myself I was just going to start cutting back and just start cutting back on the sugars. And I started cutting back and it actually started helping out. So the switch, it does take a lot. It took a lot of praying. It took a lot of it with good willpower and courage to take those steps. But I think once you take those steps, you're able to follow through, even if you have to just take the baby steps. And if you're going from 20 milligrams to your 15 to your 10 milligrams. And once you get down to your 5 milligrams, just listen to your body. I say listen to your body is a very important thing.
Another question. What is the best way to incorporate veggies? I do not like the prep.
Well, my best way was to, I didn't like it too much either, but drinking out of a carton of Boost and with the straw, and it taught me to, because of the muscle, it was restricted there. I wasn't able to swallow, so I had to try to get as much as nutrients that I needed inside of my body. So I started using my smoothie machine, the Ninja. I bought my Ninja back out. I started blending away, pureeing it, or whatever you have to do to put it in there in order to get it. I think that's the best way. Like a salads, you can try to start with salads, sauteing your veggies. But smoothies is a great start because you can add in your fruits and your veggies.
Okay, and it looks like we've come to the end of our questions.
Okay.
So I want to again thank you, Kaniah, for sharing your perspective with us. And I also want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us. Enjoy the rest of your day and continue to make healthy and better choices. Bye.
Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.